Hi everyone. Today we will see the question paper Physics paper 2 multiple choice extended 0625 bar double 2 May June 2023. First question. Forces of 3 Newton and 4 Newton act at right angles as shown in figure. What is the resultant force? So here 4 Newton force is there. This 3 Newton I am drawing it parallelly here. So the resultant force that should start from the tail of this first force and end in the head of this second force. This will be the resultant force. So how we can find the resultant force? So we can apply Pythagoras theorem here. So resultant force square. This can be written as R. So R square is equal to 3 Newton the whole square plus 4 Newton the whole square. That's equal to 9 Newton square plus 16 Newton square. So it is 9 plus 16, that is 25 Newton square. So R will be equal to square root of 25 Newton, that is equal to 5 Newton. So it is acting along OY. So the right answer is C, 5 Newton along OY. Next, a light ball is held at rest at the top of a tall cliff. It is released and falls through the air, eventually reaching its terminal velocity. Which row describes the behavior of the ball as it descends? As it is a free fall, the acceleration due to gravity that will be 0. Initially, the ball accelerates due to the force of gravity. And when it reaches terminal velocity, when the ball is reaching terminal velocity, the acceleration will be 0. So initially the ball is at rest, and when it is start falling, it will be having an acceleration of g, and when it reaches terminal velocity, the acceleration will be 0. So the right answer is C. Initially it is g and finally it is 0. The graph represents the motion of a car. Speed is given as 10 meter per second here. Time up to 5 it is given. How far has the car moved between 0 to 5 seconds? 0 to 5 seconds. What is the distance? So for finding the distance, it is area under this graph. Area under the graph will give the distance. So that can be written as it is a triangle half into B into H. Half into, here the time is 5 and height that is 10. So it is 5 times 5 into 5, that is 25 meter. So the right answer is C, 25 meter. Which statement about mass or weight is not correct? This is the right statement. Mass can be compared using a balance. Mass is just anything that contains matter. It is not a force. So this is the wrong statement. B. Weight can be compared using balance. This is right. Weight is a force. That's also right. So our answer is B. Mass is a force. That is the wrong statement. A sphere P made of steel has a weight of 10 Newton on Earth. Another sphere Q, also made of steel, has a weight of 10 Newton on Mars. The gravitational field strength on the Earth is greater than gravitational field strength on Mars. Which statement is correct? So, the weight is 10 Newton for both P and Q. Weight can be written as mg. So, the total weight remains same in the case of P and Q. That is cold. Earth has greater gravitational force. So, G in Earth is more than mass. So, for this total quantity to remain same, as G is more, the mass on the Earth should be less. That means P should be less compared to Q. So, here the right answer is B. The mass of sphere P is less than the mass of sphere Q. Which two quantities must be known to determine the density of a material? So, density of a material can be written as mass by volume. So, it is related with mass and volume. So, here the right answer is B, mass and volume. A truck is towing a car along a straight horizontal road at a constant speed. The rope breaks. Which rope gives the direction of the initial acceleration of the truck after the rope breaks and the reason for acceleration? So, this is the driving force that is moving forward or towards the right. So, this car here, some resistive force will be there, that is pulling it backwards or left. When the rope is breaking, it has the resistive force has decreased and the driving force towards right is there. So the right answer here is the direction of acceleration of the truck, it will be towards right. And the driving force is greater than resistive force on the truck. A uniform beam is pivoted at center with two identical masses x and y are placed so that the beam balances. X and y is there. The beam is balanced in this pivot. A smaller mass is then added. So a smaller mass is added in this position. How can the masses be positioned so that beam balances again? So when the beam is in equilibrium position, sum of clockwise moments that will be equal to sum of anti-clockwise moments. So in this side, x plus a small mass is being added. That should be equated to moment by y. So as you're adding this small mass, here the moment has increased. So for decreasing that, we need to move x towards the pivot. That means moment means perpendicular distance into force. So the perpendicular distance is decreasing means we can decrease the moment. So when you are moving towards this pivot, the perpendicular distance will be less. So the moment due to x will reduce. So we can balance it. So the right answer is B. Move x towards the pivot. If you are moving x away from the pivot, the perpendicular distance will increase. By that, moment also will increase. Y towards the pivot means again it will create an imbalance. Small mass away from the pivot, that also increase the moment. Next, a resultant force of 2 Newton act on an object of mass 3 kg for 60 seconds. What is the change in velocity of the object? So F is given as 2 Newton, mass is equal to 3 kg and time is 6 seconds. We need to find change in velocity that is equal to AT, acceleration into time. So we are having time, we need to find acceleration. For finding acceleration, we can use this formula. F is equal to ma, that is A is equal to F by m. F is given as 2 Newton and mass is given as 3 kg, that is 2 by 3. So substitute this here. Acceleration is 2 by 3 and time is 6. So it is 2 into 2, that is 4 meter per second. So your right answer is C, 4 meter per second. The diagram shows energy stores for a mobile cell phone and how the energy is transferred between the store. So inside mobile, some electrical circuits, electronic circuits will be there. So this chemical energy is used for the working of this electronic circuit. So what describes how the chemical energy is transferred? It is used for the electrical work done. A wind turbine is 30% efficient and an output of 2.5 megawatt of electrical power. What is the power input of the turbine? Efficiency can be written as useful power output. Useful power output by total input power. Output by input, as it is in percentage, it is into 100. So we need to find the power input. So total input power can be written as power output by efficiency into 100. That is, power output is 2.5 megawatt. Efficiency is 30% into 100. So while do calculating, you'll be getting the answer as 8.33 megawatt. Right answer is B. Next, which two physical quantities must be used to calculate power developed by a student running up a flight of steps? So power can be written as work done by time. So it depends on the work done and the time. So here the right answer is D, work done and time taken only. The density of seawater is 1030 kilogram per meter cube The gravitational field strength on the Earth is 9.8 Newton per kg and atmospheric pressure is 1,00,000 Pascal. At which depth in seawater is the total pressure due to the atmosphere and the water equal to 5,13,000 Pascal. So here pressure can be written as by equation hydrostatic pressure equation. Pressure can be written as pressure in atmosphere plus rho g h, density, gravity and height. So the pressure in atmosphere, it is given as 1,00,000 Pascal. We need to find the depth. Depth needs to be found at this pressure. So the pressure is 51300 Pascal plus density of water is given as 1030 into gravity is 9.8 into h. This quantity we need to find out. So I'm taking this left hand side, that is 513,000 minus 101,000, that is equal to 1030 into 9.8, that is equal to 10,094 H. So while subtracting, you'll be getting the answer as 412,000. 4,12,000. That is equal to 10,094 H. So height can be written as 412,000 divided by 10,094. While dividing, you'll be getting the answer as 40.8 meter. So the right answer is A. Next, 4 students describe the phrase absolute zero during the lesson on the particle model. Which student is correct? So at absolute zero, the particles have minimum thermal energy. The thermal energy of the particle will be minimum. And the kinetic energy of the particle will be zero. It will not have any kinetic energy, but the particle will be having some mass and weight. Mass and weight will be there. So gravity also, gravitational energy also, it will be there. Kinetic energy will be zero. And the absolute zero means it is the lowest possible temperature. Here the right answer is A. This is the lowest possible temperature. This choice is wrong. It is not related. This is also wrong. Particles do not have any weight. It will be having weight. Particles have the least gravitational potential energy. Actually, particle will be having least kinetic thermal energy and zero kinetic energy. So A is the right answer. 4 students are asked to state and explain relative magnitudes of thermal expansion of solids and gas. Which student is correct? So first two choice, it is gases expand and solid expands more than gas. So already we know solids are tightly packed together. So it will not expand more than gas. These two statements are wrong. In the case of gas, the molecules are relatively far apart and they're having weaker intermolecular force. The intermolecular force in gases, it is weak. Weaker intermolecular force. This is responsible for the movement. So two statements are there. Gases expand more than solid because of molecules in gas are random motion. But the real thing that causes motion is because of the attractive forces between the molecules are much weaker. That is, intermolecular forces in gas is weaker than solids. That why the expansion happens. This is the appropriate answer, right answer. Four cups A, B, and C and D contains hot coffee. Which cup keeps the coffee warmer the longest? So dark colors enhance radiation. They are better in absorbing and emitting thermal radiation. So they promote or they enhance radiation much better. So next is with lid. If you are covering it with lead, the energy loss will be less. So here two colors are there, black and white. So as dark colors, black enhance radiation, this is not being used, and white color can be used. And if it is covered with a lid, it will keep the coffee warm the longest. So C is the right answer. If you are writing in the order, choice C, this will help to reduce the heat loss by preventing convection and radiation. In next, it will come A, that is black covered with lid. Next, it will come D, that is white with no lid. Next, it will be B. In this order, heat loss will happen. The diagram shows the waveform. So the amplitude of the waveform is marked here, that is 3 centimeter. The wavelength from one node to next node, what is the length? 8 centimeter. This is being marked. Peak to peak voltage is being marked here. That is 6 centimeter is the peak to peak voltage. So what are the amplitude of the wave and wavelength of this wave? So amplitude, it is visible, that is 3 centimeter, and wavelength, that is 8 centimeter. So amplitude is 3, wavelength is 8. The right answer is B. Optical fibers are used to transmit digital signal used in infrared radiation. The average refractive index of the fiber is 1.50. Which row describes digital signal and gives the speed of infrared radiation in the fiber? So digital signal means it will be having two values. So only two values it will have. So here the choice, a signal that consists of two values. That's correct. A signal that consists of only two values. These both are correct. These two options represent continuous range of values. That is your AC or analog signals. Continuous values means analog signals. So out of these two, we need to choose this. For that, we can find the speed. So speed of light in a medium can be written as speed of light in vacuum by refractive index of the medium. So speed of light in vacuum is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, and refractive index is 1.5. So we'll be getting the answer as 2 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So the right choice is this one, A. Which statement describes monochromatic light? Monochromatic light consists of just a single color or single wavelength, or we can tell it as a single frequency. So light of single frequency is a monochromatic light. Remaining choices are wrong. White light means it is a mixture of various color. A beam of light consists of yellow and blue light. The beam of light is incident on a glass prism. Which diagram is correct? So, when a beam of visible light that is incident on a glass prism, it will be getting refracted and deviated. So it will deviate into VIBGYOR, that is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So violet will be most deviated and red will be least deviated. And in between, these indigo will be there. Indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, like that, it will goes on. So here we can see blue is there, yellow is there. So blue will be most deviated and yellow will be less deviated. So here the right option it is. This is the right option, D. Blue is most deviated and yellow is less deviated. A radio station broadcasts a signal with a frequency of 89 megahertz. What is the wavelength of this signal? So F is equal to C by lambda, or lambda is equal to C by F. Lambda is the wavelength, C 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, speed of light in vacuum. F is the frequency. So 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second by F is given as 89 megahertz. Megahertz can be written as 10 raised to 6. Mega means 10 raised to 6. So while doing, you'll be getting 3 by 89 into 10 raised to 8. This 6 will be going on top. 8 minus 6. 3 by 89 means that is equal to 0.033 into 10 raised to 2. That can be written as, by adjusting two significant figures, 3.37 into 3.37 meter. That is approximately equal to 3.4 meter. B is the right answer. A boy shouts and hears the echo from a tall building 2.2 seconds later. The speed of the sound in air is 330 meter per second. How far away from the boy is the building? So as he is hearing the echo, the speed can be written as 2d by t. So we need to find the distance. So distance is equal to speed into time divided by 2. Speed is given as 330 meter per second into time is given as 2.2 seconds divided by 2. So while doing, you'll be getting 363 meter. That is approximately equal to 360. So C is the right choice. The magnetic field of a bar magnet can be represented by magnetic field lines. Which diagram shows two magnetic field lines correctly? So here the magnetic field north pole is there, south pole is there. Always the magnetic field lines will be from north to south. From north pole towards south pole. So here the right choice is A. From north towards south. A plastic rod is rubbed with a dry cloth. The rod has become positively charged. Why the rod has become positively charged? So rod is there, cloth is there. It has become positive charge means it has lost the electrons towards this cloth. So as it is losing the electrons, it has become positively charged. So the right answer is C. It has lost electrons. Which statement about electric current in a conductor is correct? So here dealing with DC and AC circuit. You know DC means it is a constant value and AC means there will be a change in value. With respect to time, it keeps on changing. With respect to time, it will be DC will be constant. In a DC circuit, electric current gradually decreases along the conductor. That is wrong. The free electrons flow back and forth. That also wrong. In an AC circuit, the electric current remains exactly same all the time. That's wrong. That happens in the case of DC. In an AC circuit, flow of charge changes direction continuously. That is right. It will keeps on changing the direction continuously. So D is the right answer. A piece of metal wire X with uniform diameter R. A second piece wire Y is made of the same metal and has uniform diameter. Y has double the cross-section area of X and half the length of X. So, for this piece, the resistance can be written as rho L by A. So, what will be the resistance of Y? So, the resistance of Y can be written as rho into the length is half L by 2 and area of cross section is 2 times 2A. So rho L by this 2 will come downside 2 into 2A. So this can be written as 1 by 4 into rho L by A. So rho L by A means that is R. So that is equal to 1 by 4 into R. So the resistance of Y will be R by 4 X. So what is the resistance of Y? The right answer is A. R by 4. An electric fire is connected to 240 volt supply and transfers energy at a rate of 1 kilowatt. How much charge passes through the fire in 1 hour? Q is equal to I into T, current into time. Here current is not given. So for finding the current, we need to use the equation power is equal to voltage into current. So current can be written as power divided by voltage. Here the power is given as 1 kilowatt, that is 1000 watt, by voltage is given as 240 volt. So we'll be getting the answer as 4.1667. Next, we can find charge Q is equal to I into T, that is equal to 4.167 into time is 1 hour. 1 hour means that is 60 minutes into 60 seconds. That will be equal to total of 3600 seconds. So 3600, 3600 seconds. Multiplying, will be getting the answer 15,000 coulombs. That can be written as, by rounding this, 1.5 into 4 positions into 10 raised to 4 coulombs. C is the right answer. Two lamps are connected in parallel. So we can see here which switches must be closed so that both lamps light. So these two should light up. So we need to close S1 for completing this path. We need to close S2 for completing this path. So when you're closing S1 and S2, this lamp 2 will glow. So lamp 1 should glow means we should close S3 also. So all the switches need to be in closed position. So the right answer is D. S1, S2 and S3 should be closed. Next, the diagram shows a circuit that switches a lamp when there is a change in the environment. Which change in the environment causes the lamp to be switched on? Here we can see the symbol of thermistor. This is the NTC, negative temperature coefficient thermistor. So here, when the temperature is increasing in this thermistor, when the temperature increases, the resistance decreases. As a result, current flow will increase. So here the right answer is the change in environment is an increase of temperature. A step-down transformer is 100% efficient. It has an input voltage of 240 volt AC and an output voltage of 60 volt AC. The current in the primary coil is 0.5 amps. What is the current in the secondary coil? So 100% efficient means the power in the secondary will be equal to power in the primary. So power means that is V into I, voltage in the primary into current in the primary. That is 240 volt. That is the input voltage in the primary, and current in the primary is 0.5 amps. While multiplying, you'll be getting the answer as 120 watt. So secondary also the power will be same. So power in secondary means voltage in the secondary into current in the secondary. We need to find the current in the secondary coil, that is 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 equal to PS by VS. So power in secondary is same as primary, that is 120 watt, and the voltage in secondary is given as 60 volt. You will be getting the answer as 2. The answer is 2 amps. Option C. The diagram shows the pattern of magnetic field due to current I in a straight wire. Which row is correct? So here you can see the current is flowing in the downward direction. So here we are applying this right hand Maxwell's thumb rule. So when the current is flowing in the downward direction, the field will be generated in this path, that is towards right. So here two things are given, y and x. X is wrong, y is the correct direction. And at point Q, the field lines are close together. So the strength of magnetic field will be more at point Q. So which row is correct? That is, it is Y, and greater at Q than P. D is the right answer. Direction of field is Y. Relative strength of field is greater at Q than P. Which device is magnetic effect of current is not used? So in an electromagnet, it is used, loudspeaker also used, relay also used. In potential divider circuit, we are not using a magnetic effect. It will be just divider circuit comprising of resistance. Fission and fusion are two types of nuclear process. How does the total mass of the nucleides produced compare with the total mass of the original nucleide or nucleides in the nuclear process? In case of fission, the heavy nucleus is split into smaller nucleus. So here energy is generated, that is in the form of kinetic energy, and radiation will be there. In the case of fusion, smaller nucleus combine to form one or two smaller nucleus combine to form a larger nucleus, heavier nucleus. Here also there will be radiation and kinetic energy. So here's some missing mass. In both cases, mass is getting missed or mass is getting reduced. So that is converted into kinetic energy and radiation. So when total mass of fission products compared to original nucleide and total mass of fusion products compared to original nucleide will be always less. That is, D is the right answer. The table shows the composition of three different nuclei. Which nuclei are the isotopes of the same element? So in case of isotope, number of protons remains same and number of neutrons will be different. That is, atomic number remains the same and mass number will be different. So we can see here X and Y are having same number of protons, different number of neutrons. So the answer is X and Y only. Which change occurs in the nucleus of a radioactive atom during beta emission? So during a beta emission, neutron is converted to proton, one beta particle and one anti-neutron. So this is a massless element. This is a electron, negative, and this is one proton. So here the right answer is a neutron transforms into a proton and an electron. A radioactive isotope has a half-life of 8 days. A detector close to a sample of this isotope gives a count of 200 counts per minute. Without the source, the background count is 20 count per minute. What is the count rate due to the source after 8 days? So 200 count per minute, that is shown in the detector. So the net count can be written as the count shown minus background count, that is 200 minus 20, that is equal to 180. So half-life is given as 8. And we need to find the count rate after 8 days. So NT is equal to, NT is N0 into 1 by 2 raised to T by T. NT is the number of radioactive atoms at the time T. N0 is the initial number of radioactive atoms. T is the time. Here it is 8 days. And T is the half-life of isotope. That also it is 8 days. So NT. After 8 days, we can write it as N0 is 180 into 1 by 2 raised to 8 by 8. 8 by 8 is 1. So 180 by 2, that is 90 CPM. So the right answer is B, 90 counts per minute. Which statement about the solar system is correct? All planets are rocky planets. Actually, it is wrong. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. These are actually rocky planets. And Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. These are gaseous planets. Only Earth has moon. Not only Earth, so there are other planets that is having moon. For example, Mars is having 2 moons. Jupiter is having around 80 moons. So this is also wrong. Pluto is a dwarf planet. That's the right statement. There are many stars in the solar system. That is wrong. Only Sun is there as a star in solar system. Comets are bodies which orbit the Sun in the solar system. What is the shape of the orbit and how is the Sun positioned within the orbit? So, Sun and the orbits will be elliptical in shape. Comets follow elliptical path around the Sun, and Sun is located at one of the focus of the elliptical orbit. This means that Sun is not at the center of the orbit. So the right answer is D. Shape of the orbit will be elliptical but not at the center of the orbit. It is located at one of the foci. Which nuclear reaction produces the release of energy to a power star? Sun is a power star. So inside that, what is happening? Nuclear fusion is happening. Fusion, and there hydrogen is converted to helium. So the right answer is D. Nuclear fusion of hydrogen into helium. What is the definition of Hubble constant? That is equal to V by D. V is the residual velocity of galaxy. How fast it appears to be moving from us. And D is the proper distance of the galaxy from the observer. So here the right answer is A. It is the ratio of speed at which the galaxy is receding from the Earth to the distance from the Earth. Thank you all.